All right, I'm having a lot of fun with these guys. Hey, okay, welcome back to the next episode of Old School Lighting. Okay, as you can probably tell, I'm doing a string of these in one day, but that's okay. That's how we do it. That's movie magic, right? Welcome to Old School Lighting, guys, the place where we get to look at all of this old stuff that I just dragged out of nowhere. And I'm trying to put everything in storage, and I'm just trying to catalog everything before I do that. And I'm having a lot of fun doing it in the process, so I hope you are too. Okay, guys, I got a really, really cool and exciting one for you this time. Does anyone know what this is? Anyone who's been around lighting since, oh, I don't know, the 70s or the 80s or the 90s maybe, has seen this blue color before. You know what that is? This is LTM. This is a French manufacturer that used to be known as the Rolls-Royce of lighting in Hollywood, and many other cities too, by the way, but especially in Hollywood. And I had the honor and privilege many, many years ago, having known and worked with a lot of the people that were a part of LTM and then spread out into other places too. But this is a very small and unique example, by the way, of what LTM was back in the day. This is called the Luxarc 200W. This is a Fresnel HMI 200-watt Luxarc from LTM, and it was also known as the Bonzai. And the friend of mine that I bought this from, I actually have two of these, and they're in pretty good condition. And if you really want to laugh, guys, if you want like a little extra secret sauce, do you know where these came from before I owned them? I don't know if you can see the tag. Maybe we'll have to do some B-roll. But an old little company called Hollywood Rentals. Remember them? So I guess Hollywood Rentals owned these things at some point. And then they ended up on the second-hand, third-hand market. And now I own them. And I'm really excited because I have used these successfully also on a small set. I know, indoors, I'm crazy using HMIs. But I'm really excited about it. Okay. So let's try to squeeze in a couple of quick technical points. So this is a Fresnel, and for an HMI, which is a daylight arc light lamp, a Fresnel type system was actually quite rare, especially in the States. HMI Fresnels were used pretty widely in other parts of the world, but in the US, especially for something so small, not so much. We adopted a little bit of a different lighting style here, but didn't stop the fact that you could get these at one point in time. So this has all the same features of a Fresnel. You're going to have barn doors on this thing, so you'd be able to control the beam. It did have a spot flood feature in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, right here. Sorry, haven't used it in a while. So this little guy would bring the spot flood back and forth. And you also had something that was unique to all HMI systems, which is called a micro switch. And a micro switch was a safety feature. And so what would happen is if you didn't have protection glass in front of an arc lamp, you could actually really hurt someone because it emitted UV rays. So you can see inside here, oh man, this thing is in really bad shape too. There's a little single-ended 200-watt HMI lamp inside this thing with a reflector behind it. This gets extremely bright, very hot, and you had to make sure that this little micro switch rod right here, this little metal rod on a spring, had to be depressed, and it would be depressed by the door and the glass, and that way if the glass broke or if the door opened for any reason, the light would go into shut-off mode. The current would be cut off to the lamp would shut off, and that was a safety feature to make sure that people wouldn't get hurt with any UV ray emissions. You know, now with LEDs and stuff like that, you don't really have to worry about that so much. There are other color sciences behind LED chips that involves filtering blue and so on that would also be used to protect people, but you know, that's pretty much a standard issue thing at this point. All right, so I'm going to try to do something really special, and this I'm probably going to have to fast forward a little bit on the edit because I'm going to strike this guy up. And as you well know, striking up an HMI, it takes a few seconds and it's a little bit of black magic too. So I'm going to fire up the ballast. Hold on. And I don't know if you heard that or not, but there was a little buzz up and it didn't turn on. That's common, right? Hold on. Just turned off the ballast, but you know what? Hold on, I'm going to slice something in the edit here real quick too. Hang on, guys. Okay, I'm back. So I told you that I have two of these. So this ballast right here is hooked up to one of the ballasts. And I'm going to try to strike it up again in just a second to show you guys what it looks like. But it's powered and plugged into one of these. How about that? Take a look at this. Can you see that? The Luxarc Transformer 200. Oh my gosh, how about that? Do you know how heavy this thing is? Okay, I hope you do, because I don't, but I'll tell you right now, it's very heavy. And that's because inside this thing is nothing but pure solid copper. Okay, and why did they do it this way? Well, that thing needed to be solid copper so that it could generate the current to operate the arc lamp. And the bigger the arc lamp, the bigger that big old box down there was, and it's called a ballast. Nowadays, you have electronic ballasts, and the advantage to those is that even though they cost more, they can achieve much higher speeds, and they weighed a lot less. They were much lighter, I should say. But these big old heavy guys right here, one thing for sure that everybody loved about these is that they were completely dead silent. They made absolutely no noise at all, which was a big deal on set. But on top of that, they were also super reliable. These things just never break down. This thing is probably older than me, okay? And it still works. And they were ultra reliable. They never broke down, and dead silent. But they were really, really, really heavy. So that was one of the drawbacks. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to strike this thing up one more time, because I got to do it at least once. Hold on. Oh boy, guys, not having any luck. Hold on, cut. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, and we're back. Okay. So I probably cut a lot of this out of the edit, and that's okay. Unfortunately, I had to swap ballasts, so if you've ever used these on set, you probably know what that feels like too. And especially these things are pretty old. So, but look, as you can see, it's warming up right now, and it's still not up to full color temp. It's probably going to take a few more seconds, so as I speak about this. Yeah, I had to go ahead and swap out ballast so I could get this thing to fire up. Anyway. Pretty comical stuff, but that was pretty, it's easy to laugh about it right now for this video, but when you were on set, oh boy, that was a problem. Anyway, so it's firing up right now, and you can probably see on your screen right now, you got this beautiful, beautiful white light coming out of it, and that was the point of using an arc lamp. It was 5600 Kelvin as the color temperature, and that duplicated the color of the sun. And so that was the go-to choice for anything to light stuff or people up outdoors during the daytime, and to match the sun in not just in color but also in intensity, and to balance out shadows, and to just put through diffusion or bounce off of diffusion, and you would just get these beautiful natural colors for a person's face or a product or a scene or anything that required true daylight. So these were very, very widely used, and not just the small guys. This is a very small example. These went all the way up to 18,000 watts in all kinds of varieties. You had PARs, you had Fresnels, you had open faces, you had, what's the other one? Oh, well, it'll come back to me. But anyway, it had no lens, hard reflectors, super hard shadows, at any rate, all that. So here, let me shoot this up against the wall, and then I promise we're going to wrap this one up real soon. But I do want to show this to everybody. You can see, again, very, very bright, and a very beautiful white color temperature. And here's the little focusing dial, or focusing knob back here. And actually still pretty smooth operation for being such an old light. But you can see the flood, and you can see it's really lighting up that white wall behind me. And then we're going to bring it back down into a spot. And there you go. So the LTM Luxarc 200, otherwise known as the Bonzai, and it's being powered by a 60 hertz magnetic ballast. I got two of these things, and I'm not letting them go. But if you want to talk about it a little bit more, you can go to my website, thelafirm.com. I won't be able to sell you these, but I can sell you all kinds of other stuff. Probably mainly LEDs, but you can still get HMIs too if you want. Lighting and so much more, go to thelafirm.com. Send me an email, and let's see those comments down below. I really want to talk about this one. You old schoolers out there, tell me when you use these things, and tell me you didn't laugh when you saw this video, right? Okay, love you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to tell a friend. Visit the website, thelafirm.com, sorry. And well, hey, I'll see you on the next one.